Hi, this is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, your English teacher here to help you train your fluency on the go. Now, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe by pressing in the corner here, right-hand bottom corner on the logo, and you can be notified every time I go live or of any other videos I post. And if you also haven't done so yet, please download my free fluency tips, which are in the description below. There is a link and you can download those. And then in the comments box, perhaps you could let me know whether you're feeling a particular benefit. It does depend on your level, but it's particularly good for intermediate students, a little bit harder for lower level students, and perfect also for more advanced students. So if you write in the comments box how you're getting along with it, I'd be really excited. Now, in the chat, perhaps you could write to me where you're listening from. I'm really interested to know where everyone is listening from. Okay, now what's the subject today? I always recommend to my students to think in English, because thinking in English is fundamental to the way you express your language. Now, many of my students tend to think in their own language, and this makes their thoughts very complicated. Now, you don't always have the vocabulary, the verbs, the expressions to express these complicated words, expressions in English. So you have to eliminate thinking in your own language and think only in English or the language that you're studying. Now, obviously, you'll say, how can I control my thinking? The best way to control your thinking is to speak out loud. So in reality, of course, it's nice to do it when you're on your own. So if you're alone in the house or alone in the car, but you're often alone in many situations you don't even realize. Usually one is quite alone also in the bathroom. So you can speak to yourself and there will be no one to laugh. Now, it's also very important to not say, oops, I don't know how to say that, but just to use the vocabulary that you know and the verbs you know. So if you don't know the exact word, find a way around it. Or make a mental note, and then when you're in the right situation where you can check in a dictionary or online, you can then check that particular word you didn't know. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. It should be one or two. You shouldn't make a long list, otherwise the objective is lost. Because once you get used to talking to yourself, you'll realize that you're influencing your thinking. Your brain will switch on to English mode, and it'll be just that much easier. I've tested it on myself with the languages I learn, and it really, really works. Now, let me give you some examples. So you get up in the morning, you go downstairs, and you may put your slippers on before you even get out of bed. And so you'll say, now, where are my slippers? And instead of thinking it in your own language, you'll try and think of it in English and say it to yourself. Of course, you may not know the word slipper. It's not important. Where are my soft shoes? You can then check up how to say slipper, but at least you've said something which is quite similar. Then you can say, I'm going to the bathroom, I'm walking downstairs. Now you're going to make your breakfast, so maybe you need to, I don't know, open the cupboard to look for a mug. And so you can say, I'm opening the cupboard. You don't know the word for cupboard, doesn't matter. I'm opening the door. Then where is my mug? You don't know the word for mug, cup, glass. Just improvise. but talk to yourself out loud, because if you're talking out loud, you know that you're influencing your thinking. And that's really, really important. And then, of course, you'll sit down, you'll have your food, but where is the knife? Where is the fork? I need a spoon to stir my coffee. And now, of course, I imagine lots of you don't know this expression, stir. Stir is when you turn a liquid, for example, tea, coffee, because you have the milk or the sugar. It doesn't matter if you don't know the word stir. You can say, I turn. You just need to talk to yourself, even if you're not using exactly the right words. It really doesn't matter. I made a few notes of some other examples. Yes, so then you're in the shower, and perhaps you can open the shampoo bottle, pour it out. You don't know the word for pour. You can say, put the shampoo on my hand. Then you can rub it in your hair. If you don't know the words, doesn't matter. Just say, wash my hair. So all these things are to get you thinking in English. And obviously, because you're speaking out loud and you're therefore saying words to influence your thoughts, you're also practicing with all your mouth. And so you're practicing your fluency, your pronunciation, and you're loosening your jaw up, getting it used to English. And you're also gaining confidence. You're less shy, even if no one is listening to you. You can't believe how helpful it is. Let me give you some more examples. So then you leave the house and you need to lock the door, and you say, where are my keys? The same goes for when you go into the car. Open the door, sit down, turn on the engine. You don't know the expression engine? Doesn't matter. Turn on the car. The important thing is that you're speaking to yourself and therefore thinking in English. And once you get this as a habit, you'll see that your language improves, your pronunciation improves, your fluency improves, and you'll be able to connect sentences much easier, more easily, also using phrasal verbs, expressions that you've picked up, because that's the next step. First, you're using very simple sentences, but then I hope that you're also listening to music, watching programs, and reading in English, and there you're picking up chunks of language, phrasal verbs, expressions, fixed expressions, and they will all come out naturally if you practice. We have the expression, practice makes perfect, and you don't need to live abroad to do that. You can do that on your own. What about children? Maybe you are taking your children to school. Why don't you have them join in and learn a few expressions themselves? I used to use all kinds of language games with my children when they were younger. How about teaching them, get into the car, get out of the car? They pick it up really easily and they enjoy it. It becomes a game. So you can incorporate it also when you have the family. Maybe it's more fun for the children than for your spouse. Your spouse is the partner you married, husband, wife, depending. Okay, so this is my advice for today. Please try and think in English. The more you think in English, the better you'll be able to express yourself. And these are the techniques for thinking in English, because many people, when I tell them think in English, don't really understand how to think in English. So I hope this information was useful for you. And don't forget to subscribe here in the corner. And don't forget to download my free fluency exercises. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. Bye.